Lately, Vanessa's been stepping out more and showing off a side we haven't really seen before, but now she's taking things up a notch. New photos of her are flooding the internet, and not for the reasons you'd expect. The widow of NBA legend Kobe Bryant spent years mourning in silence, but these pics, they make it clear she's stepping back into the spotlight, and now fans are split. Some are cheering her on, others are calling it disrespectful. So what's really in these photos that has everyone talking? Let's get right into it. Those viral photos. What really happened? In the ever-churning world of celebrity news, few stories have captivated public attention quite like the recent viral photos of Vanessa Bryant. The widow of NBA legend Kobe Bryant suddenly found herself at the center of social media speculation and tabloid headlines in October 2024 when images from what many outlets described as a wild and spicy party began circulating online. These photos spread like wildfire across platforms like Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok, generating millions of views and thousands of comments in just 24 hours. But what exactly did these supposedly scandalous photos show? That's where things get interesting. The images in question came from Vanessa's own Instagram account, where she shared moments from a gathering with close friends. To the average person, these would look like perfectly normal social media posts, just a woman enjoying a night out with friends. But because this was Vanessa Bryant, widow of basketball legend Kobe Bryant, these ordinary photos became extraordinary news. Some outlets used descriptions like spicy and wild to characterize the images, creating an impression of something far more scandalous than what the photos actually contain. Since the tragic passing of her husband Kobe Bryant, Vanessa Bryant has largely maintained a quiet and reserved public presence. Over the years, she has become known for her dignified composure, often appearing in somber or reflective settings, especially when honoring Kobe's memory or advocating for causes connected to his legacy. Her presence has typically been associated with strength, grief, and quiet resilience, qualities that have defined her public image since the loss. However, these recent images of Vanessa have sparked attention for an entirely different reason. In contrast to the solemn tone that usually surrounds her public appearances, these photos captured a lighter, more carefree side of her. Whether it was the relaxed smile on her face, her choice of fashion, or the overall energy she exuded, there was a noticeable shift. For many, this change in demeanor felt significant. It suggested that perhaps she's entering a new phase in her journey, one that includes healing, joy, and reclaiming parts of herself that grief had temporarily dimmed. While she continues to carry Kobe's memory with grace, these glimpses hint at a woman allowing light back into her life, however slowly. But partying with friends? This is a normal social activity that would hardly merit attention if not for Vanessa's status. What made these photos truly newsworthy wasn't their content, but their context. For many followers, this was the first time seeing Vanessa looking truly joyful since the devastating helicopter crash that claimed the lives of her husband Kobe and 13-year-old daughter Gianna in January 2020. We'll never understand the hate Vanessa Bryant gets. Like any wealthy husband that dies and who has a spouse that is left behind with someone of Kobe's stature/wealth will live well and try to continue the legacy. She really teaching her daughters a valuable life lesson, commented one fan on social media, a sentiment echoed by thousands of others. This unexpected glimpse of happiness from a woman who had become, for many, a symbol of grief and resilience sparked conversations across the internet about mourning, healing, and the public's expectations of how widows should behave. Some commenters expressed relief at seeing Vanessa smiling again. Others were more critical, suggesting that her apparent enjoyment somehow dishonored Kobe's memory. The timing of these photos, coming more than 4 years after the tragedy, highlighted something Vanessa herself had previously said about grief. It isn't linear. The October 2024 photos represented not an abandonment of grief, but its evolution, a life that continues to unfold and can contain both profound sadness and moments of joy. What many people commenting on the viral photos didn't know was the remarkable journey that brought Vanessa Bryant to this moment, a story that begins long before she became NBA royalty. Born Vanessa Cornejo Urbieta on May 5, 1982, in Los Angeles, California, her early life was far from the glamour she would later experience. The daughter of Mexican immigrant Sofia Urbieta, Vanessa faced challenges from an early age. Her parents divorced when she was just 3 years old, and her father relocated to Mexico, leaving her estranged from him for most of her life. Her mother remarried Stephen Lane in 1990, and though Vanessa would later adopt his surname, she was never officially adopted by her stepfather. Before her mother's marriage to Lane, the family lived in challenging circumstances, sharing her maternal aunt's spare room. Despite these humble beginnings, Vanessa excelled academically, attending St. Boniface Parochial School, where she was a varsity cheerleader. She later transferred to Marina High School in Huntington Beach, where she would eventually graduate with honors in 2000, though her final months of high school would be anything but normal. Few people realize that before becoming Mrs. Kobe Bryant, Vanessa had her own budding career in entertainment. At just 17, while still in high school, she worked as a model and backup dancer, appearing in music videos for artists like Snoop Dogg, Crazy Bone, Tyrese Gibson, Ludacris, and Pharrell Williams. It was during one of these jobs, working as a background dancer for Thais Sidaz's music video Geet Up in November 1999, that fate stepped in. Kobe Bryant, then 20 and already an NBA star, was on the same set working on a rap album that never materialized. What did materialize, however, was an instant connection between the young basketball phenom and the high school senior. Their romance moved at lightning speed. Just 6 months after meeting in May 2000, while Vanessa was finishing her senior year of high school, Kobe proposed with a stunning 7-carat diamond ring. The media frenzy that followed was so intense that Vanessa had to leave Marina High School, completing her education through independent study. The couple married on April 18, 2001, at St. Edward the Confessor Catholic Church in Dana Point, California. The ceremony was surprisingly small, with only about 12 people in attendance. Notably absent were Kobe's parents, sisters, agent, and teammates, who reportedly disapproved of the marriage, partly because of Vanessa's Latina heritage and partly because of her youth. This whirlwind romance between a global sports icon and a teenage backup dancer set the stage for what would become one of the most publicly scrutinized marriages in sports history. And contrary to expectations in the world of celebrity marriages, they didn't sign a prenuptial agreement, a detail revealed by Vanessa's cousin Layla Lane that would later become significant during their brief separation. The young couple quickly started building their family, welcoming daughter Natalia Diamante on January 19, 2003. Their family would eventually grow to include 4 daughters: Natalia, Gianna, Gigi, Maria Honore, born May 1, 2006, Bianca Bella, born December 5, 2016, and Capri Kobe, born June 20, 2019. But their life together wasn't without significant challenges. Just months after Natalia's birth in July 2003, Kobe was accused of sexual assault by a 19-year-old hotel employee in Colorado. Though he admitted to infidelity, Kobe denied the assault allegation. The case was eventually dropped, but it cast a long shadow over their marriage and Kobe's public image. Throughout this scandal, Vanessa appeared publicly beside Kobe, famously wearing a $4 million 8-carat purple diamond ring, dubbed the apology ring by the media. Her decision to stand by her husband during this period drew both criticism and praise, with some viewing her as steadfastly loyal and others questioning her judgment. This public scrutiny would become a constant in Vanessa's life, a pattern that continues to this day with the viral party photos that have once again thrust her into the spotlight. But to truly understand why these seemingly ordinary social media posts generated such extraordinary attention, we need to continue exploring the profound journey that brought Vanessa Bryant to this moment. From backup dancer to basketball royalty, the early years of Vanessa's marriage to Kobe were marked by the extreme adjustments of going from an ordinary teenager to the wife of one of the most famous athletes on the planet. At just 18 years old, she was thrust into a world of wealth, fame, and intense public scrutiny that few could imagine. While Kobe was cementing his legacy on the court, Vanessa was navigating the complex world of NBA wives, a social circle with its own unwritten rules and hierarchy. Unlike many basketball spouses who became fixtures courtside and at team events, Vanessa maintained a relatively private presence, rarely giving interviews and selectively attending games. This tendency toward privacy often led to speculation about her personality. Some media outlets portrayed her as aloof or difficult, while teammates' wives reported mixed experiences. The reality, according to those closest to the couple, was that Vanessa was simply protective of her family's privacy in a world where everything about them was considered public property. Their marriage weathered significant storms beyond the 2003 scandal. In 2005, Vanessa suffered a miscarriage due to an ectopic pregnancy, a personal tragedy that the couple kept private for years. Kobe later revealed that he blamed himself for the loss, believing it was related to the stress of his legal trouble. By 2011, the strains on their marriage had become too much. Vanessa filed for divorce in December of that year, citing irreconcilable differences. Court documents revealed she was seeking joint custody of their daughters and spousal support. The absence of a prenuptial agreement meant Vanessa would be entitled to half of Kobe's earnings during their 10-year marriage. But in a twist that surprised many, the couple couple reconciled in January 2013, with Vanessa calling off the divorce proceedings. Their reconciliation coincided with a period of evolution for Kobe, who seemed to prioritize family life more visibly as his NBA career began winding down. He became a fixture at his daughter's sporting events, particularly Gianna's basketball games, often seen analyzing plays with her and mentoring her development as a player. During these years, Vanessa largely stayed out of the spotlight, focusing on raising their daughters and supporting Kobe's transition from NBA superstar to businessman and content creator. But behind the scenes, she was developing her own philanthropic voice. In 2007, the couple founded what was initially called the Vivo Foundation, later renamed the Kobe and Vanessa Bryant Foundation. The organization focused on providing scholarships to minority college students and underprivileged youth while working to reduce high school dropout rates. They also supported numerous youth sports programs, particularly for young girls interested in basketball. Vanessa was also quietly building expertise in the business world. While never taking center stage during Kobe's lifetime, she was involved in many of his business decisions and investments, knowledge that would prove crucial after his death. One public controversy during this period came in 2004, when Vanessa accused Lakers player Karl Malone of behaving inappropriately toward her. According to reports, Malone made comments that Vanessa found disrespectful before a game. When she reported this to Kobe, it created tension between the teammates. Malone apologized but denied making a pass at Vanessa. The incident split public opinion. Some criticized Vanessa as being a drama queen, while others praised her for challenging the culture of entitlement in professional sports. The specifics remain disputed to this day, with no legal action reported. Another controversy emerged in 2009 when former housekeeper Maria Jimenez sued Vanessa, alleging verbal abuse and humiliation from 2007 to 2008. The allegations included claims that Vanessa forced her to retrieve a price tag from a bag of dog feces and used derogatory language. The Bryants denied these allegations and countersued, claiming Jimenez breached a confidentiality agreement. The resolution of this case isn't well documented, adding another layer to the complex public perception of Vanessa. Despite these controversies, the Bryants appeared to have found their stride as a family by the late 2010s. Kobe had retired from basketball in 2016 and was building a second career as a content creator, winning an Oscar for his animated short Dear Basketball in 2018. Gianna was emerging as a basketball prodigy in her own right, with dreams of playing in the WNBA. Their youngest daughters, Bianca and Capri, had completed their family, with Capri born just 7 months before the tragedy that would forever alter their lives. On January 26, 2020, the world stood still as news broke that Kobe Bryant, 13-year-old Gianna, and 7 others had perished in a helicopter crash in Calabasas, California. The group was en route to a basketball tournament at Kobe's Mamba Sports Academy when their helicopter crashed in foggy conditions, killing all aboard. In an instant, Vanessa lost not only her husband of nearly 2 decades, but also her daughter, a devastating dual tragedy that thrust her into the spotlight during her darkest hour. The grief that followed was not just personal, but public, a mourning process witnessed by millions around the world. The non-linear nature of grief became a recurring theme in Vanessa's public statements. In a particularly candid Instagram story from January 15, 2021, she wrote, "Grief is a messed up cluster of emotions. One day you're in the moment laughing, and the next day you don't feel like being alive. I want to say this for people struggling with grief and heartbreaking loss. Find your reason to live. I know it's hard. I look at my daughters and I try to push through that feeling for them." Adding another layer of pain to an already unimaginable situation, reports emerged that Vanessa learned about Kobe and Gianna's deaths through notifications on her phone and media reports before being officially notified by authorities. While this detail hasn't been officially confirmed by Vanessa, it points to the uniquely challenging intersection of private grief and public attention that she has been forced to navigate. What many don't realize is that Vanessa's grief journey was further complicated by additional trauma. In March 2020, just weeks after losing Kobe and Gianna, Vanessa learned that Los Angeles County Sheriff's deputies and firefighters had taken and shared graphic photos of the crash site, including images of her husband's and daughter's remains. This violation of privacy compounded her raw grief, leading to a federal lawsuit against the county. During her testimony in August 2022, Vanessa described the devastation she felt upon learning about these photos, saying she felt like she wanted to run down the block and scream, or run down a pier and jump into the water. The news triggered panic attacks and a persistent fear that these images might someday surface online, a cruel addition to the grief she was already processing. Rebuilding a life after unimaginable loss. In February 2020, just weeks after the crash, Vanessa stood before thousands at a memorial service at the Staples Center, delivering an emotional eulogy that revealed her determination to honor her loved ones while somehow finding a path forward. When speaking about Gianna, Vanessa's words revealed the deep bond they shared. Later in her eulogy, the depth of her loss became even more apparent. In the months and years that followed, Vanessa gradually reclaimed moments of joy alongside her ongoing grief. She celebrated milestones with her daughters, including Natalia signing with IMG Models in 2021. She leaned on close friends like Ciara, Lala Anthony, and Pau Gasol's wife, Catherine, for support. These glimpses of happiness, shared selectively on social media, revealed a woman determined to create a meaningful life for herself and her children despite unimaginable loss. Public sentiment largely reflected admiration for Vanessa's strength. Entertainment news outlet E! News described her as the definition of strength in March 2021, while sports media complex Sports highlighted her message to find you reason. But living in the public eye also exposed Vanessa to criticism, including a controversial 2020 tweet by actress Evan Rachel Wood referencing past allegations against Kobe, an attack that Vanessa forcefully denounced. Throughout this period, Vanessa maintained a relatively private life, with her public appearances primarily focused on honoring Kobe and Gianna's legacies. Vanessa also faced the daunting task of not only processing her grief, but also managing Kobe's substantial business affairs and raising her 3 surviving daughters, Natalia, then 17, Bianca, 3, and Capri, just 7 months old. With remarkable resilience, Vanessa stepped into a leadership role at Granity Studios, the multimedia company Kobe had founded in 2013. As president and CEO, she continued the creative work Kobe had started, including projects aimed at inspiring young athletes. This included managing the company that had produced Kobe's Oscar-winning animated short Dear Basketball. She also rebranded Kobe's charitable foundation as the Mamba and Mambacita Sports Foundation, ensuring that both Kobe and Gianna's legacies would continue to impact others. The foundation provides support to underserved young athletes, offering financial assistance for sports programs with a particular focus on young female athletes, a cause that was especially close to Gianna's heart. In May 2021, Vanessa launched the Mambacita clothing line with female-owned brand Danijo, with all proceeds benefiting the Mamba and Mambacita Sports Foundation. The first collection sold out within hours of its release, demonstrating the continued public support for Kobe and Gianna's legacy. Financially, Vanessa's management of Kobe's business interests has been remarkably successful. In 2021, Coca-Cola acquired Body Armor for $5.6 billion, a sports drink company in which Kobe had invested $4.6 million in 2014. The Kobe Bryant estate reportedly earned an estimated $400 million from this deal alone. As of 2025, her net worth is estimated at $600 million, derived from Kobe's estate, her role at Granity Studios, and other ventures. But despite this financial security, Vanessa has continued to fight for justice and accountability. Her lawsuit against Los Angeles County over the shared crash site photos concluded in August 2022 with a $16 million judgment in her favor. In a move that spoke volumes about her priorities, Vanessa donated the entire sum to the Mamba and Mambacita Sports Foundation, transforming her personal pain into a commitment to the causes that mattered to Kobe and Gianna. She also advocated for the Kobe and Gianna Bryant Act, legislation designed to enhance helicopter safety equipment following the crash. Her advocacy helped lead to the placement of a Mamba 8 inches call box near the crash site, honoring all 8 victims of the tragedy. Throughout all of this, Vanessa's Instagram account, followed by over 14 million people, became a window into her grief journey. Her posts alternated between joyful family moments and heartfelt tributes, revealing the complexity of moving forward while honoring the past. In January 2021, almost a year after the crash, she shared a raw glimpse into her emotional state, saying grief wasn't linear, every day was different, and she tried her best to put a smile on her face. This message resonated with countless individuals navigating their own grief journeys and showcased Vanessa's evolving role as not just a widow, but an unwitting symbol of resilience. The October 2024 photos represent not an abandonment of grief, but its integration into a life that continues to unfold, a life that can contain both profound sadness and moments of joy. To put these viral photos in proper context, it's worth examining other instances where Vanessa's social media posts have generated significant attention. In November 2020, just months after the crash, photos from a slumber party hosted by singer Ciara featuring Vanessa and her daughters Bianca and Capri were viral. This image showed Vanessa smiling with friends and family and were celebrated as signs of her coping with grief rather than criticized. Similarly, in July 2023, vacation photos of Vanessa and her daughter Natalia with Pau Gasol, Kobe's former teammate and close friend, and his family received widespread positive attention. These photos highlighted the close bond between the Bryant and Gasol families and were praised for their emotional resonance rather than sensationalized. More recently, Vanessa and Natalia attended the wedding of WNBA stars Sabrina Ionescu and Hroniss Grasu in 2024, with photos from the event gaining attention. These were described as dazzling, but again, were not framed in the provocative terms used for the October 2024 party photo. Vanessa's growth through grief is also evident in her personal life. She has remained focused on raising her 3 surviving daughters, Natalia, Bianca, and Capri, while navigating her own healing process. Her eldest daughter, Natalia's signing with IMG Models in 2021 represented a significant milestone, one that Vanessa celebrated publicly while continuing to honor Kobe and Gianna's memories. Despite her strength, Vanessa has faced additional challenges in her personal life. Reports suggest a strained relationship with her mother, Sophia Lane, following Kobe and Gianna's deaths. According to some accounts, Vanessa took back a mansion and luxury vehicle she had provided to her mother, which led to Sophia giving a tell-all interview to media outlets. The details of this dispute remain unclear, though some sources claim Sophia sued Vanessa, alleging she was owed money. Vanessa has also been the subject of numerous dating rumors in the years following Kobe's death. She's been linked to figures ranging from Lakers general manager Rob Pelinka to boxer Victor Ortiz and even Kobe's former teammate Pau Gasol. All of these rumors have been debunked, with no evidence of romantic relationships. Gasol's close friendship with the Bryant family stems from his long-standing relationship with Kobe, and both he and his wife Catherine McDonald have been supportive presences for Vanessa and her daughters. As of 2025, multiple sources indicate Vanessa remains single, focusing on her family and philanthropic work rather than dating. Her priorities clearly center around her daughters, with eldest daughter Natalia now pursuing a modeling career after signing with IMG Models in 2021. In January 2025, Vanessa announced plans to release Mamba and Mambacita Forever, a book documenting over 100 murals worldwide dedicated to Kobe and Gianna. She also partnered with Nike to release special edition Mambacita Kobe 8 sneakers in May 2024 to mark what would have been Gianna's 18th birthday. These ongoing projects to honor Kobe and Gianna's legacies provide important context for understanding the viral photos from October 2024. The images that generated so much attention online represented something deeper than just a social gathering. They captured a woman who, after years of navigating profound grief in the public eye, was finding moments of joy and celebration. The contrast between Vanessa's typically reserved public persona and these more carefree images created a narrative tension that quickly caught the public eye. But for many supporters, these photos represented something encouraging, evidence that even after unimaginable loss, moments of happiness remain possible. This doesn't mean Vanessa has moved on from her loss. As she herself has stated, grief isn't a linear process with a clear endpoint, but an ongoing journey that becomes integrated into the fabric of one's life. The viral photos show that joy and sorrow can coexist, that finding moments of happiness after loss doesn't diminish the love felt for those who are gone. Perhaps that's why these seemingly ordinary party photos generated such extraordinary attention. They weren't just images of Vanessa Bryant enjoying a night out with friends. They were visual evidence of the human capacity for resilience, the ability to endure unimaginable pain and still find reasons to smile, to dance, to celebrate life in all its complexity. As we close this exploration of Vanessa Bryant's viral photos and the journey that led to them, let's remember that behind every headline, every social media post, and every viral moment is a real human being navigating real emotions. If you enjoyed this video, click on any of the cards on the screen for more content.